Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and welcome back to another episode of our tip series, where today we talk about a hero that many players learn to fear, many players learn to hate, and many players still underestimate, until suddenly their entire team starts disappearing. Because Guardians, damage over time exists everywhere. Burning, poison, continuous pressure. Small numbers appearing repeatedly, and if there is one hero that transformed this type of damage into something terrifying, it is Iris. Because Guardians, let us be clear from the beginning, Iris alone already produces absurd amounts of pressure. But the moment you start surrounding her with heroes that help her mechanics, things become ridiculous very quickly. So today, we talk about Iris, the demonic nerd, the girl with the strange familiar, and one of the most dangerous scaling damage dealers in Hero Wars. At first glance, Iris does not look terrifying. She does not jump around the battlefield. She does not create giant explosions immediately. She does not instantly delete entire teams. Instead, she waits. She prepares. She allows enemies to create their own destruction. Because almost everything Iris does revolves around one word: debuffs. And Guardians, debuffs are everywhere. Almost every battle contains debuffs. Almost every composition contains debuffs. Almost every hero creates some type of negative effect. And that is exactly why Iris became so dangerous. Because whenever enemies become debuffed, Iris starts working. Whenever a debuff appears on an enemy, Iris applies inner fire charges, which create continuous magical damage while those debuffs remain active. Immediately, this creates a terrifying situation. Because now enemies are not only suffering from debuffs themselves, now they are burning while suffering from those debuffs. And the more debuffs involved, the worse things become. There is technically a limit. 5 inner fire charges per target. Sounds reasonable. Sounds controlled. Except, Guardians, almost everybody creates debuffs, which means reaching those charges is usually not difficult. And this is where Eternity heroes become terrifying partners, because if those debuffs come from Eternity allies, inner fire damage doubles. Suddenly, Iris transforms from dangerous to absurd. But Guardians, Iris does not wait for teammates forever, because she brings her own solution. Bitey, her strange familiar. And Guardians, Bitey may not look impressive. He may not move quickly. But the moment he reaches enemies, problems begin. Because Bitey immediately helps apply pressure, while also helping solve one of Iris's biggest limitations: magic penetration. Iris does not possess enormous magic penetration naturally. This means large magical defenses can create problems. Bitey helps solve this. He reduces magic defense. He extends debuff durations. And Guardians, those additional seconds matter enormously. Because more debuff duration means more burning. More burning means more pressure. More pressure means more panic. And panic creates mistakes. One of the strangest parts about Iris is that while she loves debuffs, she completely refuses suffering from them herself. Because Iris permanently becomes immune to debuffs. This creates strange interactions, especially Iris mirror matches. No debuffs, no value, no burning. Suddenly, the entire interaction changes. But Guardians, her passive mechanics go much further. Because Iris does not simply punish debuffed enemies, she punishes enemies creating debuffs too. Whenever enemies apply debuffs or even effects treated similarly, Iris retaliates. She reduces physical attack. She reduces magic attack. And these reductions themselves become extremely important because each reduction counts independently. Physical attack reduction? Debuff. Magic attack reduction? Another debuff. Immediately things double. More debuffs. More inner fire. More burning. More punishment. And something beautiful happens. Because while enemies are suffering more damage, their offensive power simultaneously decreases, which means Iris is not simply dealing damage. She is indirectly increasing survivability for her own team. This is why Guardians, the bigger the number of debuffs, the brighter Iris shines. And this creates something funny, because suddenly almost the entire support category starts working with Iris. Supports reduce stats. Supports create control. Supports weaken enemies. Supports create debuffs. Even heroes you would never initially imagine. Take Jet. Jet reduces defenses. Those reductions count. Enemies start burning before Iris even finishes setting up. And then, Guardians. We arrive at her most terrifying mechanic. Her first skill. Because now things become dangerous. For every buffed ally and every debuffed enemy, Iris gains pure soul charges. Then, she attacks the entire enemy team. And this is where people start misunderstanding Iris. Because the scary part is not simply the damage number. The truly terrifying mechanic is execution threshold. Guardians, this mechanic is brutal. Because once enemies fall below this threshold, nothing matters anymore. Shields? Irrelevant. Damage reduction? Irrelevant. Defensive mechanics? Irrelevant. Below the threshold, death happens. This is why Iris becomes so terrifying. Because while enemies believe they are surviving, sometimes they already lost. Now naturally, who works best with Iris? Phobos immediately becomes obvious. Control. Physical attack reduction. Magic attack reduction. Magic defense reduction. Debuffs everywhere. Dante pushes enemies while reducing stats. Again, debuffs. Corvus reduces armor. Magic defense. Dodge. More debuffs. Tempest reduces armor. Magic defense. Physical attack. Maximum health. Again, debuffs everywhere. Electra blinds enemies. Reduces magic defense. Creates more pressure. And Guardians. This is what makes Iris so special. She does not simply enter teams. Teams are built around enabling her, because once enough debuffs begin appearing, burning begins. Once burning begins, pressure increases. Once pressure increases, the countdown starts. So Guardians, do you use Iris? Or are you still trying to survive against her? Because one thing is certain, when enough debuffs appear, Iris rarely forgives mistakes. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.